Okay, so hello and welcome to round 2 of the Speedy Speedrun 48 tracks, 200cc, no items tournament. Yeah, my name is randomguy. I am going to be racing today, and racing with me is going to be Pseudonym. And we should be good to go in a second. I just need to adjust my settings here real quick. So which settings you want to go on is GP 200cc, no teams, coins only, difficult comps, all vehicles. Then you want to go in order at 48 tracks. And yeah, so we should be starting soon here. This time we're not going to start on N64 Rainbow Road, and instead of that we are going to start on Mario Kart Stadium, which is the first track in the game, just to mix things up a bit and not always have the same kind of flow to this. Okay. And yeah, we're going in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so right at the start here I did something which is to hold the ZL while selecting the first track, and the reason why we do that is to influence the Animal Crossing season later on in the bonus tracks in about 1 hour. So there's this track in the Crossing Cup which is almost at the end of the entire speedrun. I think it's track number 43 or 44. And anyway, on that track there are 4 different seasons. There's Spring, which has ramps in the beginning. There's Summer, which has ramps in the middle. Then there's Autumn, which has no ramps at all, which is perfect for us, which is why we hold ZL. And then there's Winter, which is absolutely horrible and we never want to see. And there's a dev tool that is able to select the season versus races, which is exactly the reason why we are holding ZL at the start of the race, just to get that perfect quote-unquote RNG in track number 44. Yeah, so another thing, this is the first track, Mario Kart Stadium, and it introduces the anti-gravity mechanic. So prior to Mario Kart 8, you basically couldn't drive on walls, and now you can in this game. So it doesn't appear that way, but that section I was just on is actually a wall, and especially on the later tracks it's getting quite confusing where you are exactly in relation to the ground. So we are going to go through loopings, we're going up walls, we're going through underwater sections that are upside down and stuff. It's going to be beautiful. So on this second track, Water Park, the water mechanic gets introduced. So this is something that's not new to Mario Kart 8, but it's new to Mario Kart 7. So normally you couldn't go into water in Mario Kart, it would be just voiding you out, but in this Mario Kart and Mario Kart 7 you can go into water. And water actually has slightly different physics compared to a normal ground, and especially with the combination that I'm using currently, it's kind of faster to go through water. So that's going to be important on one single track, namely Dolphin Shoals, and I'll explain when we get there, but basically there's a stretch and we want to go into the water as fast as possible there, which is going to be fastest because water will be faster than the ground that will be on otherwise. And yeah, not really much else to say to this track. This part here can be very horrible. There are the stairs, and in normal racing games, stairs are not really stairs, but they are actually more something like ramps. And here the stairs are actually stairs, and it's a very bumpy time if you try to go up it, and it makes for some very inconsistent races there in this part. Okay, so I'm going to turn myself up a bit. Hopefully it should be better now. And yeah, after Water Park there's going to be Sweet Canyon, and this track introduces another mechanic, and that is the mechanic of the glider cannon. So what would a glider cannon do? Well, it is a cannon and it lets you glide. So if we go in here, you see that we're getting shot out of this donut there, and then we have the glider open. So I believe I didn't mention it yet, but there's this glider which is the blue rams, and it basically gives you more air control instead of just jumping. So what you want to do in those glider cannons is to not trick and try to land on the edge of the platform. So right here, as you can see, I'm getting in there and then I'm trying to land on the very edge of the glider cannon ramp. And I'm not tricking there. And if you do it correctly, it should be about 0.1 seconds faster every time you do it. And because there are at least some glider cannons over the course of the run, it's about a second or two you're just safe by doing that. Yeah. Also, again, there's the use of the anti-gravity section and of the underwater, or in this case, under syrup mechanics. And yeah, so you can already see that the track layout is a lot more spicy than in past Mario Karts. And it's just going to get spicier from here on out because this is just the first cup. I'm going to make myself a little bit louder again. This is now max value, so everything should be good now. Yes, is the sound good now? Because I probably can't really turn it up more right now. So anyway, this track, Swamp Ruins. On this track you again have use of underwater and anti-gravity, just to solidify really what this is about, this game. So here's the anti-gravity section, and at the end of this you're going to see a kind of precise shortcut here, so you can just go on this and trick and go on the glider ramp. It's pretty fast if you do it. Also, this ramp right here in the off-road, it was intended that you go for it with mushroom, but 200cc is that fast that we don't really need the mushroom to go on it and save time. So if you cut the corner like that, it's going to be a bit of a time save. And again, coming up this trick. Got it. And again the off-road ramp, and we should be seeing these corks here now. So what these corks are intended to do is to open up the glider ramp here, but I'm actually too fast to make use of that. So I'm not going to take the glider ramp because I literally can't. It was intended for opening up it on 150cc on lap 3, but 200cc is just a bit too fast. Okay, so now we are moving on to the Flower Cup, the second cup in the game, and you can already see a lot more spice in the track layout. So this right here is a figure 8 Mobius strip. Maybe that doesn't really mean anything to you, but it's kind of cool. So you're basically driving on the same piece of track twice, once on the top side and once on the other side, and these bridges here are just turning 180 degrees, so yeah, it's pretty wild if you think about what the geometry of this course actually entails, because I'm not just about to overlap these CPUs, it's just half a lap, but they're under me right now. So they're literally on the other side of the track and racing in the same direction as me. It's pretty crazy what you can do with this anti-gravity. And yeah, just when you start to think about what this course would actually look like in real life, it's pretty amazing to me. Also, one thing that you can do here, one very cool thing that you can do here, or rather learn here, is soft drifting. So in this game, if you turn your analog stick in the corner, it's going to lose your time. Normally about 0.1 seconds per turn, and this is going to add up a lot. So what you would do normally is to avoid moving the analog stick, but if you avoid moving the analog stick, then you're not going to get as much minute charge out of it normally. So what's the payoff? The payoff is the soft drifting. So if you hold your analog stick at about 60 degrees, that's 10 or 2 o'clock, then you can still charge the mini turbo up as fast as you would normally, but on the other side you're taking a less wide corner and you avoid wiggle drifting, which is when you move the analog stick around a lot on the corner, and it's very fast if you do it. And this course that we are on right now, the figure 8 course, is pretty darn good to learn, let's just say that. So yeah, also this course here, Toad Harbor, it has not as much going on as the course right there, but still kind of a lot here. So you might have seen that wall there to the left. That's actually not a wall, it's something that you can race on. And yeah, again, if there are these blue panels, then you are really in for a treat if you look at the course geometry. And yeah, I'm not going to take it because it's kind of a wide line and the boost pads don't really make up for it on 200cc. But still, it's a very cool option, and you can definitely take it in honor races, for example, because it's way safer than going inside the trams. And yeah, also this trick here, this shortcut, is a lot more difficult than it might seem, because if you fail it, then you're going to ram into a building, and ramming into the building eats all your momentum and puts you onto a longer path, which is not ideal in a racing game where you try to get the shortest path as fast as possible out. Yeah, but we should be done here now, and yeah, okay, what I got here is a freeze frame. So if you fall off after ending a course, and it's especially bad on cartridge, then Lucky 2 has to save you after you finished the course already. And yeah, it's freezing on cartridge for about 2 to 3 seconds, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it might happen to me again on Music Park, but it's almost RNG, because you can't really control what your character does after you finish the race. So the only way to really influence it is by where you end the race on the finish line, but that's still RNG. It's just a bit manipulated in your favors, and that unfortunately didn't really favor me in this case. Yeah, so anyway, this course, a Twisted Mansion, it has maybe arguably the hardest corner in the game. So after this underwater anti-gravity section, where we go vertically into the water, as you might see here, and actually race on a wall, we can choose to continue racing on that wall. And if you go in here, and then you want to go on the top path, and there I kind of messed it up, but it's a very tight corner, and to get a good line out, not crash into any walls, and still carry a lot of speed around this corner is really an art. And yeah, some people might say that it's actually the hardest corner in the game right there. And I can definitely see the arguments for that, and I'm also inclined to agree to that. Okay, so anyway, now on to the last cup, the last course of the Flower Cup. So on this, I'm messing up cups and courses right now, I'm sorry. So on this course, there's going to be a very spectacular no-item shortcut that you might not expect to be actually possible. But it's not only possible on 200cc, which is already crazy, but it's also possible on 150cc, which is just absolutely mind-blowing if you see it. So after going up this waterfall, we are logically going down the same waterfall again, because why not? And then we want to do a little setup here, so we get the correct angle and alignment and speed. And then if you hop over here, I messed it up. Yeah, I knew I was going to fall off there. So anyway, you can do that without falling off, and yeah, it's very fast. They kind of expected you to take a mushroom through a grass patch before that, but it's not actually needed. And you might believe that that's just due to 200cc being fast, but it's actually just also possible on 150. It's just way harder. Okay, let's see if I can make it without falling off this time. Yeah, looks good. Almost fell off the actual again, but not too bad. And one more try at it. So everything you do after the glider ramp is set up for it. The no item shortcut is kind of easy to get, yes, but it's difficult to get it without falling off, as demonstrated there again. Almost fell off again, but I made it at least 2 out of 3 times. Okay, so the NAS, this is now Star Cup, and we are on Sunshine Airport right now, and this track is especially beautiful, and it's also pretty much dependent on which lines you take. So you can save a lot of time on this course just by picking the right lines and going on the right lines and getting the right mini turbo spreads. So I almost didn't get that mini turbo there, that orange mini turbo there, and that would have lost me actually like I think 0.1 seconds there, because it's just that much slower to not get the orange mini turbo there, because the boost is a lot longer. Okay, so let's go for it again. A lot better this time. Also, I kind of messed it up on lap 1, but this is actually also glider cannon, so the same things apply. You don't want to trick in there. And also this one, you don't want to trick there either. I kind of messed it on lap 1, but now it's good. Okay. Ah, shame. I was so proud of myself not getting into the airplane race there, and then that happens. Okay, anyway, next course now. So I'm not really sure which one is the next. Probably Dolphin Shoals. Yeah, Dolphin Shoals. Okay, so Dolphin Shoals is the underwater track that I was talking about earlier, where you want to land in the water as fast as possible, because your character is just fastest in the water, at least for the amount of coins that you probably have by then. So after grabbing all those coins there, that was very nice. I don't get that often. And getting out of here over the eel. And then we have this spiral here. And this was actually advertised on Nintendo, so you can just take this corner here inside, and then you want to land in the water as fast as possible to just get that extra water speed out. Didn't fall down there, that's great. That could have happened there easily. So yeah, when Nintendo originally released 200cc, this right here, this corner skip, was something they advertised basically to say, look at this, it's so cool. Update 4.0 of Mario Kart, go get it. And yeah, I agree, it's definitely one of the coolest tricks in the game. I unfortunately continue having kind of struggled with it for whatever reason, but it's definitely a fun thing to pull off. Also, the music on this track is just popping. Okay, that one was very good. I wouldn't really say it's multitasking, it's just talking, you know, it's basically just regular screaming, but trying not to focus that you're actually racing someone else. Also, another commentator would be very cool, so I could finally shut up and concentrate actually. So yeah, I didn't mention it, but this track, Electrodrome, has some weird cone physics there. So you saw it there again, and that cone just went flying there for some reason. And yeah, it's probably one of the easiest courses for 200. So the corners here are very wide, and it feels like it was almost designed for 200cc, which it actually very much wasn't, because the track developers didn't know that this was coming for sure. You'll see that in Special Cup why it probably wasn't designed for 200. But anyway, this course here is really nice for 200 actually. It feels better on 200 than it feels on 150cc, and that says a lot. Okay, now I believe Mount Vario is up as the last track from the Special Cup. Sorry, from the Star Cup. Yeah, this is Mount Vario. So Mount Vario is the first instance of a track that doesn't have 3 laps, but rather has a set start point, then 3 sections, and then after the 3 sections just ends in an ending point. So we have another track like that, which is Big Blue. This will be the last course that we are racing on. And we also have a track that has 3 sections, but actually ends there where it starts. So it has a finish line and it loops, which is N64 Rainbow Road. And well, I always kind of thought that it was a shame that N64 Rainbow Road was a 1-lap course instead of a 2-lap course, but that probably has time for later, that rant. Anyway, we kind of made our way pretty good through section 1, and now this is the tree section. So you see all those trees, and you don't really want to ram into them, and I have a set path I want to follow here, and it looks good, perfect. It's pretty hard, especially if you haven't done like 20 hours time trials in this track just to not crash into trees there like I did. And here you just want to spam the trick button, and then it should be almost a clear shot at the finish now. That was a pretty good Mount Vario actually. Pretty happy with what went there. Just one little corner skip, perfect. And now we're on the Special Cup. So the first course of the Special Cup will be Cloudtop Cruise, and Cloudtop Cruise has absolutely amazing music. So you're going to hear Super Mario Galaxy music here, and it also is already pretty difficult, but I would say it's definitely the easiest course out of the bunch in the Special Cup. So you're going to have some rather tight corners, but that's okay. So if I don't mess up, then I should be able now to just have a straight shot here on the left boost path. And let's see. Yeah, I made it. So that lightning behind me there would have actually almost struck me by about a second, I think. And that's going to be that close or even closer on all 3 laps. So basically one single mistake and you can't take the path you want anymore. And you have to adjust to where the lightning bolts will be. What happened? Is everything okay? Is everything okay with the stream? Can you guys hear me? Okay, it's good now? That's nice. Okay, so I, in the meantime, I was of course racing perfectly, yeah, as you can see by me making that cycle. Rather, not making the cycle, so I was actually hoping that the lightning would go away. It was a very good pace, kind of sad. Yeah, that was a very good Plato cruise except for that mess up there at the end. Okay, we're good now. That's good. So anyway, this next course, Bone Dry Dunes, is kind of a mess. So the beginning section is fine, but after that it gets a little, I wouldn't say spicy because spicy is a good word, but kind of annoying, I'd say. So yeah, we have this beginning part which isn't too bad. It has a few tight corners, but after that we have this part, and this part it stings. So the way to go around it optimally is just to avoid getting airtime, and for that you have to follow where the bumps are, basically, and that's kind of difficult to do. Made a jump there again. That was pretty nice. And again. Okay, that was another nice corner. My coin count right now, as you might notice, is at 4, and I wanted it to be at 10 like a lap ago, but this course is hard, so I'm not really worrying that much about it. But yeah, I could get those 2 coins still. Okay, that's nice. If you're on bad paces, those coins aren't really there because they despawn after a while. And yeah, that was pretty clutch that they were there, and now I'm at 10 coins, which is good. So I probably didn't mention it yet, but the difference between being at 0 coins and being at 10 coins is the same difference as having the slowest combination or the fastest combination. And yeah, you want to be fast in this game. So this next track, Bowser's Castle, is a bit, let's just say a bit strange because it's cycle based, and the cycles you're basing them on are pretty dang fast, and if you mess up like I already did at the start, then you're not going to know exactly where the stuffs that move are, and those stuffs include fireballs of death and big giant steel balls of death that almost take up a third of the entire course at a given time. And yeah, I just hope that I can still cope with it because I already kind of messed up at the beginning. I didn't really want to get bumped by the CPU there, but unfortunately that's rather common on this track, and yeah, I knew it. Just a tad bit too far to the right there. And we can do this little cheeky hop there again at least. Also, yeah, I kind of lost a lot of time after Star Cup, so Kart of Cruiser got hit by lightning, and Bone Red Dunes had some rather wide corners, so it's probably legit that I'm 20 seconds behind right now. It's not really good one. Okay, at least I didn't get hit there by the Fireman left 3. And yeah, I couldn't go right there. So ideally, I would want to go right on the split path there, but I was actually too slow for it this time. And Bowser would have hit me with his fist, so I took the safer option and went left. Okay, so anyway, now coming up is Rainbow Road, the last track of the Nitros. And yeah, while this Rainbow Road is kind of debated because it's a spaceship and not really a Rainbow Road, it's still a Rainbow Road, so you can fall off easily. It has tight corners and it's a beautiful track. Nothing much more to say to it really, except for please don't bump me off. Okay, thank you, very kind. So you can also do a little cheeky shortcut here soon. Why did I trigger that? So anyway, you can just switch the paths there and save about a second, I believe, by doing that. Then after having a nice corner there, we're going into lap 2, where we do all this stuff again. So this corner right here is probably the most troublesome corner for a lot of people, and what you want to do to not fail it is to start the mini turbo way on the inside and stay on the inside of the first corner. And then you want to hold the mini turbo longer than you expect. So you want to hold it up until the straightaway basically. And then you want to be on the very right of the straightaway and then start to drift and swoop the inside of the corner. So yeah, basically start the mini turbo here, stay inside until about here, and then swoop the inside of the corner and you should be good. Nice. Okay, apart from that bump, it was pretty good. Yeah, it could be that I left the timer, but we're not really going to know. And I mean, it was pretty bad, at least the Special Cup in this case. So everything up until that point was kind of fine. The Special Cup really was something not of beauty in this case. Anyway, now we are in the retro tracks. So in these retro tracks, they are just remakes from old tracks Nintendo already made. So this is a remake of Moo Moo Meadows, originally on the Wii. And yeah, these remakes, they feel completely different, and they are designed with the Mario Kart 8 physics in mind, and also the new Mario Kart 8 features. So in this case, you can see a glider ramp. I won't take it because it's slower, but on this corner coming up, you can see a glider ramp in the distance, this blue thing there. And yeah, that's basically a common theme throughout all the retros. They are still the old tracks, but they have a new kind of spice to them. And all in all, I pretty much like the retros. And yeah, while they're definitely not the best tracks overall, I'd say it's still considerably better than what they did with the Nitros in different Mario Kart games, say for example Mario Kart Wii, where they just basically ported the old Nitro tracks. Yeah, so I didn't put a timer on the screen, and I guess that's something that I should do probably, but starting the timer at the same time as press and go is too much multitasking for me, I'm afraid. And I think Pseudo can time his own run and put a timer on screen because he's using his mobile phone, but I could be wrong about that. So anyway, this this course here, it has a lot of no item shortcuts. So you can see this one here, where you just hop over the tires, or at least try to hop over the tires. I didn't mean to hit that one. And then you can go through the off-road here. And then you can go through the off-road here. Okay, let's see if I this time at least don't bob any tires. Ah, again. You really don't want to bob those, it costs a lot of time. At least once, please. Yeah, at least once, okay. Nice. So this track, Cheap Cheap Beach, again is a retro track, and this time from the DS version of Cheap Cheap Beach, but the DS didn't have any glider ramps, and now there is one. So yeah, they definitely changed this one up a lot, and I think you also couldn't really drive in the water, and definitely you couldn't see all this detail underwater. And again, it's quite amazing in my opinion what they did to this old track to make it feel this good. With the new Mario Kart 8 physics. Also, you saw a funny little camera there. So, I believe the explanation given at GDQ for this camera behavior there is that the camera in this game is not actually just a non-solid thing like in Super Mario Odyssey that can go through walls, but instead it's actually a physical object that's trailing behind you, and when you're trying to put the camera in the too tight space between you and the wall, the camera is not liking that, and because of that, kind of freaking out. So yeah, that's some fun thing that I didn't know until a few days ago, and hopefully you also didn't know up until now. Maybe I can even 3-from-3 that trick. It's kind of funny to pull off, although it's probably a little bit slower. Yeah, I didn't get it this time. And I believe now is time for the worst track in the game. So this is Toad's Turnpike. Yeah. I think you can just let the track speak for itself in its awfulness. So you have cars on the tracks, which never really is any kind of fun. And the cars are randomized. And the track layout is kind of dull, it's just a figure 8. With only minor anti-gravity sections to maybe have some fun on. And yeah, there's not really anything more to say to it really. It's just drive around this figure 8 circuit while trying to avoid crashing into cars like someone who doesn't really know this game. Which isn't really a fun task to begin with, and yeah, just the bland visuals of its course make it even worse, so it's probably the worst course in the opinion of a lot of people who run this game. And I definitely appreciate that sentiment that it's a very bad course. I really don't like it. But at least we didn't crash, so that's cool. Ooh, that was close. Thank you, Isabel. Very cool. Taking me up on my own words, I see. Oh, sorry, it was called Melinda. I don't really know my Animal Crossing characters, I'm sorry. Yeah, anyway, away from this awfulness and into a desert course, which isn't really that much better, but at least it's better. So, Dry Dunes is, I think, the first desert course we see here, apart from Driver Dunes, which isn't really a desert course, but more like a graveyard course in my opinion, because there are a lot of bones on this course. And this one is just a plain of desert. And what they did to this track is quite a lot actually. So the hole there you saw in the middle doesn't really actually have this plan in the middle anymore. And you also have this underwater section and this cool little shortcut. You can just go through the off-road there and it's still faster if you mess it up, which I kind of did. And it's even cooler if you don't mess it up, because you can just get no slowdown at all there. And it's great when that happens. So yeah, on lap 2 and 3 it's faster just to go through the hole there. And let's try again for this shortcut here. So optimally you don't want to get slowed down by the off-road at all. Yeah, just like that. That was perfect. Now Speedy is going to be in the way a bit. And shit. I'm not really familiar enough with the pace when we actually get that trick, because it's quite inconsistent for me. So this Speedy, there is something that I crashed in quite a lot when doing red rows. Yeah. Anyway, maybe a 2 for 3. No, this is wrong. This is wrong. You want to stay close to the rock to make it work. Okay. Next up is Donut Plains 3, if I recall correctly. So Donut Plains 3 is a very small course, and it's pretty hectic and cramped if you try to race on it. So yeah, there are a lot of tight corners, as you can see on the minimap, and there's a lot of off-road in this course, and you can skip large chunks of it. It's not even that big of a deal if you skip over off-road. So yeah, I'm not doing it here because it's still faster to stay on the road, but you can just go through the off-road there, for example. And I believe that actually soon the next commentator will come, Aiden, and it's going to be a fun time because I'm not going to be racing and commentating at the same time anymore. Woohoo! Also, that mode I could have easily ended it for me, but fortunately didn't. So after this course, I'm going to let Aiden take over the commentary for a few seconds, and he unfortunately has to go at 3. But he'll probably be back after that for the end of the run, so that's something to look forward to. Yeah, I'm just going to shut up now.
So okay, Pseudonym just finished that race. Yeah, they're basically almost 1.5 races apart. Yeah. So um yeah, I'm pretty sure Pseudonym is also not gonna go for Super Bounce, but he might. He needs to make he needs to do a lot of stuff if he hopes to get the win, which I'm pretty sure he isn't even going for that anymore. And he fell off. That's you hate to see that. You hate to see when you fall off and gets hit. He gets hit. Oh my god. And he fell off again. Shut up. I'm not quiet. I'm not quiet. No. My my microphone is just bad. I'm not quiet. Stop. I I'm a little offended. I feel offended by criticizing my mic. I try my hardest, okay? Literally it's not it's almost broken, but I do my best, okay? Okay, so random guy already entered Sherbet Land. There's not that much going on in that track. Uh yeah, I don't even think that going for the glider at the end, I don't even think that's faster. Yeah, definitely not faster. He goes for the top. I really don't know which one's faster, if going for top or bottom is faster. I usually go for bottom rather than top, but I think it's like a lot less consistent to take it. Uh, and yeah, there's not that much more going on in that track, and it's also pretty short. So, and Pseudonym finished that track. Yeah, there he took the lead. Random guy's just so far ahead. Almost he's already like 2.5. Yeah, pretty much 2 races ahead. I don't even think he went for that many hard strats. He just played it safe and did all he was good at. I think. I I'm pretty sure he went like that. Oh, Sidram hugging the wall right there. I've never seen anyone have that mistake ever. Um. Oh, I'm trying to fix my mic. I literally can't do anything. Okay, so random guy entered music park now. I hate this one. I don't want to say anything about it. I'm just gonna skip it. Can I skip? I can't. Okay, I can't skip this. I literally hate this track with my dear heart. But yeah, he did go for super rounds there. So yeah, I mean it's mostly I think it's one of the easiest super bounces in 200cc. It's even easier than the DKJ one, so I kind of get why he didn't go for that one because there is a really high risk of falling off, and that one's just either you fall off, you don't fall off, or like either you don't get enough speed or you do it well. See, like right there, he didn't get a lot of speed, but he did clear the gap, so it's not bad, but it's also not good. Uh, and yeah, Pseudonym just finished that track, and he's going into Sherbet Land, which I'm not going to talk about that one because yeah, there's not that much to say about it. And if I'm not wrong, after this comes After Music Park comes Yoshi Valley, but I'm not sure if it's Yoshi Valley or another track. So I'm not gonna say anything. Oh yeah, it was Yoshi Valley. Yeah, there are no shortcuts in this track, so it's just trying to not get hit by the egg, which to be honest happens more often than not. I really don't know how to not get hit by it on the first lap. I've tried everything, but I think there's almost no way of not getting hit. Uh, and well, I guess he knows how to not get hit by it. I've tried. I've definitely tried to do it. I literally do not know how to do it. Now, another thing to note is that he goes for the bridge instead of the tunnel because even though like in the tunnel you can get 3 more coins than in the bridge, the tunnel is way slower. But if it was in if I was trying to be more consistent, I would go for the tunnel. But yeah, maybe he's a little more. He feels it like it's a lot safer to go for that. But yeah, Pseudonym just finished Sherbetland and he's going into Music Park. And Random Guy is almost finishing Yoshi Valley and going into TikTok Clock. I think. Yeah, TikTok Clock. And TikTok Clock has the clock arms, which I'm pretty sure he doesn't go for them in almost any lap. Oh no, what is Pseudonym doing? What's that line? What's that line? Oh my god. Dang. What a sick line. Not gonna lie. Yeah, he didn't go for the Random Guy didn't go for the arms as I thought he would. But it's okay. It's not an easy cycle to get. You have to be really slow to actually make it safe. And he won't go for the arms in this lap either, this part of the lap either. But I'm pretty sure he will go for those in the second lap because in that lap they're laid out for you. And Pseudonym fell off. Oh my god. He's falling off in the places you don't fall off. What? He's falling off where you don't. And he did go for the arms. Let's go. I was pretty sure he was gonna do that. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So yeah, Random Guy finishes TikTok Log and moves on to Piranha Plant Pipeway, or Slide if you're American, which I'm not. I'm not American. I'm sorry. And yeah, this is definitely almost. I'd say it's lost for Pseudonym because Random Guy has to make so many mistakes in such a short amount of time to make up for all of the mistakes that he has made. And yeah, he's also taking some really weird lines, in my opinion. Will he get hit by the egg? He won't. Well, yeah, he was slow enough to not get hit by it. Is he gonna go for the ramp? He will go for that ramp. I've never ever gone for it. Hmm. So yeah, there's not that much else going on this track, I think. Mostly it's just not getting hit by those piranhas. So I think I'm gonna give it back to Random Guy to keep commentating, and I'll be back in around 10-15 minutes, maybe even less, I think. So yeah, I'll give it back for Random Guy to keep commentating.
Okay. So, yeah, next up, we'll go into the bonus tracks, and the first bonus track right here is Yoshi Circuit. And Yoshi Circuit has a couple of pretty difficult no item shortcuts, and we'll see if I can pull them off. So, the very difficult one is this one here through the waterfall, and that almost didn't make it, but I'm happy with that. So you don't really want to get stuck on that edge there. You can make the jump without getting stuck there. And the second no item shortcut is just going through the piranha plant there like that. And getting some points later, and we should be at 10 now, which makes both of those shortcuts significantly easier. Because with 10 points again you're faster, and being faster helps you with getting further jumps. So that probably would have failed with 0 coins there, but I had 10, so it was no problem at all. And on for lap 3, hopefully making it again. This looks bad. Okay, I made it. So again, that probably wouldn't have made it with 0 coins, but it made it with 10 coins, which is again significantly easier. And one more piranha plant shortcut later. We are basically on the finish line already. Just a few corners. Please don't bump me off. Thank you very much. And done. So this next track is Excitebike Arena, and Excitebike Arena is randomized with a layout, and let's see which kind of layout I get. And although the layout is randomized, there are still some things that will always be better than other things. So if you see those orange boost pads there, they give you a lot of air, and you don't want that air because you have to travel further. And although you technically have a higher speed because of the boost, it's not really going to pay off because you have to travel a longer distance, and time is, I forgot the formula there. I think it's distance over time, and if you have a bigger distance and a bigger time, it can happen sometimes that it doesn't really pay off. So yeah, this is why you want to avoid those orange boost pads there. And actually I'm hopping just over the grass next to them, which is something you can do without even touching the grass and thus without getting slowed down. And one more lap of this should do it. So yeah, on this part you basically just want to get out as many tricks as possible. Then you want to trick over this big ramp and hop beside that one. And you can again just go through the mud patches there without losing a drift. And then we're done. So this track, Dragon Driftway, has a pretty cool shortcut, and hopefully I can show it off without failing it. So after you enter the dragon's mouth here and collect a few coins, then you can drift out of here. And then, okay, that was actually the wrong direction of the drift. What was that? So I'm not even going to talk about that and fight again next lap. That was a burn moment. So that's actually another benefit of soft drifting, because if you wiggle drift, which I actually did there because my setup is still requiring wiggle drifts, then you can't really have that you drift in the wrong direction because you only hold one direction anyway, you know. And let's see. Okay, that was good. So yeah, that shortcut is kind of precise, and for precise things I still use wiggle drifting, which isn't optimal by any means, but it works now most of the time. But unfortunately you can sometimes have those drifts in the wrong direction if you time your wiggling a bit wrong, and that is exactly what happened there lap 1. So, yeah, that was a wrong angle because I was scared actually of drifting in the wrong direction again, but it still was worth it. Okay, now this track, Mute City, is the first F-Zero track, and F-Zero tracks have anti-gravity, which leads to some crazy track layouts. I mean, just look at this looping here, that's crazy. And this portion here, I don't even want to think about what shape it is, just look at the background surroundings going over top here, and that right there over us is actually another piece of track. And I think I have too few points actually. I was just gushing over how beautiful the track is, but you can do a little shortcut here also. This wasn't the big jump, this was only kind of a big jump, so you can even do something a little cooler there. So you might have seen that I touched the very edge of the first ramp, and optimally you don't want to touch anything, and that's called touchless, as you might expect. So let's see if I can get a touchless here. What do you want to riff in here? And yeah, that's touchless. Well, kind of. I still had a wrong angle because I touched that ramp, but I went over the first ramp. And yeah, the first ramp all the way through counts as off-road. So if you're longer on it than one frame, then you're going to get slowed down. And I don't want to get slowed down, so again, I don't really want to touch any of the first ramp. The second ramp is actually okay because it's not off-road. Yeah, that was beautiful. So this is how it should look about. That saves, I believe, 0.4 every time you do it. I could be wrong about that. I don't exactly know much, but it saves quite a bit of time. And next to the next track, sorry, let's get to the next track. So this is Various Goldmine, and you have a couple of blind corners here. And yeah, other than that, this track is also pretty cool, because in the Wii version there was already this kind of crazy rails that led all the way through, and you had this gondolas on it, and now it's anti-gravity, so it's even cooler, even spicier from where you go. So yeah, you might have seen the anti-gravity section there already, and it's pretty nuts if you think about it again, what way it's orientated and stuff. I mean, it just looks like a roller coaster at this point, and this is exactly what the track was intended to do. So this is a great example of Nintendo taking a retro course and just making it a whole lot better for Mario Kart 8. Also, one funny thing that you can see is that when you are on an anti-gravity section, the track tiles actually change. So you might notice how the tracks right now are just this dullish gray, and here they are glowing. So this is not due to some lighting things, it's actually due to the fact that this is anti-gravity. And on every course you can see this, that it's a bit different if you have anti-gravity. So here it will just stop glowing and be the normal tracks now. And up to the next track. So this is SNES Rainbow Road. It's a track you can fall off easily. And let's hope I don't do that, because I want to go fast and falling off is slow. And this is already a fall off. Great. So those ramps, they are not your friend, definitely not. And I try avoiding them, but my angle was kind of wrong, and because of that I didn't really succeed in it. I'm just not going to say anything right now. That was just my stupid fault. I should have definitely gone left. So those thwomps you can see here are on a cycle, and I thought I could beat out the right thwomp still with that fall off, but I couldn't. So I was kind of trapped there, and it's actually possible to sneak by him on the left side, which is what I was going for there, but I was a bit too far to the left, and because of that I fell into the abyss because of that. Yeah, another example of why the ramps aren't your friends. This is just going great so far, isn't it? I said please don't fall off, and he falls off twice and almost his third time. Okay. Anyway, the next course will be a lot easier as Outpost. It can be a very difficult course if you go for the shortcuts, but the shortcuts don't really save that much time, and they are very, very difficult, so I'm not going to go for them. And they're even difficult to save time with, because they are at a weird angle, and you have to brake drift a lot to just get into the shortcut, basically. And this one right here, that one just doesn't save any time at all, because it's just too steep of an angle and not enough of a shortcut to make it worth. And by the way, again, there was anti-gravity at the end of the section, so maybe a keen eye can spot how it looks different if you use anti-gravity on this track. There are tiny little sides in the borders, which is the only difference. But still, it's a difference, and I find this this love to the detail very impressive in this game, especially considering that all of this fits on such a small cartridge. Like, it's the size of the DS cartridge, and they still made these beautiful graphics and pretty impressive soundtrack also. It's amazing that it fits. I didn't want to bump the wall there, that eats your mini-turbo instantly. I definitely wanted to trick there, but it didn't. Okay, anyway, there's this cool no item shortcut that I kind of failed there. You can hop over all the grass. It requires a very specific speed. So you want to brake it just a little in there so you don't hit the rock after that. But you still want to go fast enough to make it actually, which I didn't. This is totally wrong. Yeah, this is exactly what happens if you don't brake. You just fly into that rock there. It looks silly. Also, my angle was wrong. That was why I thought I could kind of get away with it, but I couldn't. Unfortunately, that shortcut is not possible on lap 3 because, well, I mean, it is possible. It's way harder because there's a plant in the way that likes to eat you. So I'm not going to go for lap 3, and actually I still got eaten. This is just a disaster so far. And it's actually just a disaster because it's over now. Well, let's just forget about that and head into our second to last cup, which is, I believe, the Crossing Cup. And it starts off with a very, very much loved classic, Baby Park. Baby Park is... Why do I always fail that? Baby Park. Anyway, Baby Park is a pretty strange course because we have 7 laps of just 2 turns. And it's, in my opinion, one of the worst courses in the game. Just because of that, because you're just doing the same thing all over again, and it isn't even hard, but because of that and because you have to do it so many times, it just puts kind of a pressure on me, and I really don't like this course. Like, I failed that there again, it really shouldn't fail in that way. But, I mean, yeah, see what I mean? I just hate this. I hate it. And right after Baby Park, there's Cheeseland. Also not really a great course. So on Cheeseland there are two major shortcuts you want to go for. First one is this. That fortunately didn't fail there, although I bumped into the wall. And the second one is coming up right here. So after this there's going to be a glider. And the glider is going to be in the off-road, but this is actually not a problem for us because we just go into the off-road and to the glider because it's safe. It skips a massive chunk of the track and is worth it, although we're going pretty slow to get to it. Yeah, that was kind of foreseeable that that would happen. Please don't change. Oh, okay, thank you. Yeah, if that change jump is down, then you're having a pretty big problem because you can be in the way pretty easily and block the entire track. So up next is Wild Woods. Wild Woods is one of the very spicy tracks. So it starts right off with anti-gravity, going up vertically a tree, in case you didn't know. So we are not starting on a flat piece of track, as you might expect, but we're actually starting just at a 90-degree angle, which is absolutely hilarious in my opinion. And also quite a horrifying thing to think about if you take safety precautions into account. And there's also this tiny little skip that I kind of failed there, but basically if you fail it, then you're not going to lose any time, and if you do it correctly, which is to skip all the off-road, then you're gaining like 0.2 or 0.3, so there's not really any reason to not go for it. Except if you fail it because you have a bad angle, in which case you're going to fall off, which hopefully doesn't happen here. I'm not really happy with that angle, I'm just going the wrong way around. Yeah, lap 2 can kind of bounce you all the way over the lily pads. In this case, it's going to be not a fun time. Also, you can do this tiny little barrel thing there that also doesn't save a lot of time, but it just looks cool, and that's why I'm doing it basically. Uh-oh. Yeah, that's what I meant with wrong angle. Shame, because it also could have made it. And now let's just please stop falling apart on these last tracks, shall we? So this right here is the reason why I held ZL at the very start. As you can see, this is the autumn layout, which doesn't have any ramps at all and is just the most, basically the most optimal for speedrunning because it's safe and it's fast, which is the two things you want to have. Summer is technically a little bit faster because you can do a mini turbo scrap on a ramp, but it's very risky to go for it because you can go flying absolutely everywhere. And I don't think anyone goes for it so far in runs, not even the top level players. Because it's just, well, not very much fun to fail it. If you want to see that thread, you should probably go into the time trial world record site, because the time trial version of this is actually the summer layout. Also, I almost got stuck on the grass. That grass can eat your mini turbo if you get stuck on it, if you didn't know. I did not want to hit that ramp there, anyway. Okay, and now we're actually already on the last cup. So first up will be New Bowser City, and let's just see how this goes. So New Bowser City is a slippery track that has a lot of tight corners. So I mean, it's not actually slippery when you're inside, which makes sense because it's raining and only the rain makes it slippery, but unfortunately there are going to be some rather tight corners here that are outside, and because of that also are slippery. And didn't fall off there, great. I also had some very exceptionally tight corners there, so that was good. Yeah, that was a very good lap one. Although I kind of failed at the start, doesn't really matter. So let's hopefully try to get something at least as good again. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Fortunately, didn't bomb into that wall. That would have probably lost a lot of time. And let's go. That was pretty clean for my standards, at least. And now, if I recall correctly, the next course is going to be Ribbon Road. And Ribbon Road is a rather bumpy course as well. So the red and the green strips are totally fine, but the blue strip has anti-gravity, and it also has a wavy section. So that's not really something that goes well with 200cc. Having a wavy section and anti-gravity, because it's going to be rather slippery, and also it has some kind of tight corners here. So let's hopefully not fall off here. That's good. And that was not so good, but let's ignore that. So let's hope that I also don't fall off on lap 3. Trick here, and that should do it. Perfect. it's always a great day if you don't fall off there. Also, after this race, you're going to have 690 points, which is very nice. In fact, it is 10 times as nice as the normal 69. Which isn't so nice is this track, Super by Subway. And I believe I also got the bad RNG with the trains, but let's see which it is, because I'm not 100% sure of that, and yes, it's the bad RNG. So these trains, whichever direction they go, is RNG. And in this case, I got the bad RNG, which is the red train going towards you and the blue train going with you. This RNG doesn't really allow for some tight corners that would normally be possible otherwise. And yeah, it's not a fun time. That being said, I normally crash into some trains in this RNG, but I'm very happy that this doesn't happen right now. And I believe that Aiden is back again, so we're going to have the different commentators soon again. For the very end of the race, at least. That's nice. Okay, so I didn't really read the Discord messages, but he said that I probably should just keep commentating, and yeah, I'm just going to do that. So this is going to be the last track for me, Big Blue, and this is also the last F-Zero track, and we are hopefully going to see a pretty cool and pretty big skip. So again, if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it until it happens, but it's going to be epic. So we're now coming up on lap 2, which is where the skip will happen. And after collecting some points here, we're going to start the drift. Then we're going to drift over the abyss there a bit, and then we're just going to have a bad angle and fly off the track. Oh no, what's going to happen? And then magically the track appears again, and we skipped roughly half of lap 2. It's pretty great. So the entire reason why that's possible is that Nintendo forgot, or maybe even deliberately didn't put a fall boundary there, which they normally would have, and that's why we can do this kind of massive skip there. And yeah, on that note, I think we are just going to end the run, and time is when you cross the finish line. Okay, so I believe that this is the end of the run for me. Yeah, also you can see Big Blue in the background there, so I mean the track layout is just something else. It's pretty mind-bending. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing that I did last time. I'm going to open up my home screen now, because there's not going to be any game audio on that. And then I'm going to open up Twitch, the Speedrun stream, and then I'm going to commentate what Pseudo is doing right now. Okay, so we should be there in a second now. Yeah, okay, so Pseudo right now is also on the Bell Cup, and he is in, what's the track called again? Neo Bowser City on lap 2. And yeah, I believe I can close my Speedy Speedrun pop-out chat window right now. Okay, so yeah, let's just see how he handles the hairpins. It looks like it's a pretty good angle, yeah. And now he just had a brake drift, yeah, okay. I was scared there for a second that he wouldn't make it, but that looks good. Also, I think he's on pace to beat his PB again, so it should be probably a 134 or 135 that he gets at the end of this. Probably a 135 actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, hello. I'm in the Discord now, so there should be less latency for me now. Yeah, so Pseudo right now is in Ribbon Road, and now he's making his way onto the blue wavy section on lap 2. And yeah, as I already said, it's kind of a scary piece of track there because well, it's easy to fall off there and it's very slippery, and if you aren't on the exact cycle that you are normally on, then the waves can really screw you over on that. And yeah, to actually hitting what's it called again, Mecha Cooper, I think, there. And now let's see if he knows which pattern he has, or at least can react to the pattern he got. Yeah, it looks like it. He had to brake drift there a lot, but he saved it there. Very nice reaction there, actually. And yeah, I actually forgot about this track because I really don't like it, which is why I take back that with the 135 pace, and it's probably looking like a 136 now. And yeah, now he is the second to last track, and that is Super by Subway. So on Super by Subway, I didn't really look for what RNG he got. You can tell by the preview, but yeah, it's also the bad RNG for him. So let's hope he doesn't hit any trains here, because it's way easier to hit trains on the bad RNG than it is on the good RNG. And yeah, taking the stairs path there is probably the best move because the red train was already coming out for him. Taking the shortcut there. And yeah, let's see what lap 2 brings here. Yeah, very scary pot there with the red train just coming around the corner for him. And this is also scary because you have a very tight piece of track there to drift on. And he took the off-road there because he didn't want to mess with the train. That's a very understandable move. I also do that. And yeah, after another off-road cut, sorry, let's see what this is. Lap 3. So I think there's another kind of scary moment. Yeah, right here it is, where the red train is also just rounding the corner, and blue train should be gone. Yeah, blue train is gone. That's nice. Um, yeah, and that's it for Super by Subway. And I think that 136 is actually rather hard to get now. So probably a low 137 at this point. And okay, this is the last track, Big Blue. And let's just see which kind of strats he goes for here. So he's picking up some coins. He's at 9 coins right now. And okay, that was probably a mistake there. The piece of track you can drift there is very tight, and it's pretty easy to get into the off-road. Now he's at 10 coins, and it looks like he won't go for the big cut now. He's just going for the smaller variant. So the variant he did there is the variant you do on 150cc, where you actually can't make the big cut. But yeah, still a very good cut of him there. And yeah, I don't know actually with the timer being wrong if this is still going to be a 137, because I just got word that my run wasn't actually a 138, but it was actually a 138, not 38. And this is probably going to be a sub 137. We have to see what Pseudo got. And he says in the Discord that he actually got a 136.54. So GG for that.
Thank you.
And
and yeah, you got 130 GG.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, sorry, I
had
had you move a second. I couldn't really hear you. So
that's okay. I mean, I lost like 40 seconds on Warriors Goldmine Rainbow Road or SNES Rainbow Road and Cheeseland combined. So
yeah, those tracks, they are kind of bad, aren't they?
Yeah, they're pretty hard. I mean, I was ahead out of retro tracks, but I ended up plus 45. But that's all right, not too bad.
Yeah, definitely.
Now I get to go down to the losers bracket and play like probably like Dansta or someone. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
That's probably going to be interesting what the loser bracket is going. And I think we're going to have another Mario Kart match in a second, aren't we?
Yeah, 20 minutes from now. And we are both commentating, I guess.
Yeah,
are you?
we are. Yeah, we are both going to commentate that, and
be good.
So don't go anywhere. Stay here. Maybe grab something to eat or some snacks, and then we'll see you in a bit.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.